Mr. Adams, we are live.
We are alive.
Yes, we are live now. Good evening, viewers. Wherever you are joining us from, good morning, good afternoon. Truly, Reflection of an African Child is back. I'm so glad once again I'm coming to have live reflection program with some people. Wherever you are joining us from, just send us hi for us to know that you have joined. And the aim of this program is to motivate young African youth to focus on education and entrepreneurship. And I want to basically explain something. Growing up in a small village in Africa, I knew that the only way I could be successful was through education. But in recent times, it seems like the trend is really changing. A lot of things are happening. Before a child will complete a junior high school, the person already have access to phone. And children go into the social media, they watch so many things there. And as a result, some found themselves in many things, in many troubles. They want to get rich overnight. And I thought about this and I said, okay, maybe the young generation don't know how other people have made it, even with the difficulties that we face in life. And so that was one of the reasons why I brought up this life reflection program. And so if African youth watch people that have struggled, people that have genuinely merit in life, it will have some impact or they will get some inspiration from that. And that is basically the reason why I brought up this life reflection program. And so it is going to be on. Please, if you are interested to share your life story, I always say that we are all part of the change that Africa really needs. We all have to work because the world is just going and it's like we are left behind. I don't know whether we are going backwards or we are going forward. It's really difficult. Sometimes when you travel outside your home country and where you are and you reflect back what is actually going in your country or where you come from, then you feel so sad about things. And so I think that if you have completed senior high school and you are at the university, wherever you are, I'm interested in you. I'm highly interested in our elder brothers, our fathers who have made it genuinely in life and they want to share their life stories with us. I'll be much grateful. Good evening, Mr. Adams.
Yes, good evening, Sir Veronica. It's an honor
Yes,
to
it's nice.
be part of your program today.
Thank
I'm
you
glad to
very
hear
much.
you. Sure.
Yes, thank you very much. In fact, I didn't know Adam. A friend of yours referred you to me, and I want to thank the guy if he's watching right now. I don't know him. I can't even remember who is the person, but
It
I'm
was
so grateful
Thomas. I
that
think it was Thomas, the one.
um,
Thomas.
yes, he asked me to contact Adams that he has a very nice story to share with African youth. I'm so grateful. And so today we have Mr. Adams in the house. He's here to share his life story with us. I hope someone will be inspired. I hope someone will pick up something wherever you are now. Whatever the challenge you are facing now, you pick up something from his story and continue wherever you are now. So, Mr. Adams, let's start.
Sure.
So basically, I want to start from your education, and you can start wherever you want to start, from the highest to the lowest, or from the lowest to the highest. Whatever you want to tell us, we want to know you more. First, you can introduce yourself to us, where you come from, and then your education. Thank you very much. Viewers,
Uh,
please, if you are joining this program, share, like, and let other people to watch the program. You could save somebody life from some dangers. Please share, like, and follow. Thank you very much for joining. You are the reason why this program is on. So let's continue, please.
First of all, as I said, I'm honored to be called upon to share my story on this platform. I think that there's a reason why Thomas had asked you to reach out to me. I personally do a lot of like youth empowerment. I have a lot of people that I talk to, and I try to inspire people and tell them to keep their heads high. I know, as you said, it's very difficult these days for people to continue to fight, especially in the midst of um, minimum resources, but we all have dreams and we want to get to the peak of our goals. It's important for you to hear somebody's story sometimes, and that inspires you. That helps you to also carve a path for your own self, and be willing to work much more harder than if you are doing. All of us work hard, but sometimes when you hear somebody's story, it helps you to be able to stand on your feet and to improve on whatever thing you are doing. So I appreciate the fact that I have been called upon to share my story. I'm open book, as I told you earlier before. Anybody online can ask any questions. I'm willing to answer, and that will help us to go. So to introduce myself, I'm from Mango in Wa. Many people always asking me where I come from, but I'm from Mango in Wa. I grew up in the Mango area, Kambali. I started school at the Mango Methodist Primary School. Those days, they used to call it Ababa Buaro. Even the dog won't go to that school. So I did not go to the rich schools in town.
Yes.
I did my primary education right there in Mango Methodist. I did my junior high education in that same school. I'm from Mango. I went to Nandom. I went to Nandom Sec. It was my favorite school in the whole of the region. And that's where I always wanted to go. I remember when I was in class 4, I asked my big brother, I said, that school they call Nandom, how can you get there? He said, if you get a grade, he said something about getting a grade between 6 and 15, you go to Nandom. I'm like, and I couldn't believe how somebody would write BC. At that time, I didn't believe how somebody can write BC and not get a 6 or because I was like, okay, I'll go to that school. Well, that was how I worked towards it. I remember how excited I was to get into the school. It was quite a difficult journey. 4 years in that school was tough. Towards my last years, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. And in Nandom Sec, actually, in my first year in Nansec, I got a scholarship when I was in Nandom Sec, which helped me, made my life much more easier. I finished Nansec. I got a full scholarship to from the Mastercard Foundation. I went to Aseshi. That has a journey of its own that we can get into later. I studied at Aseshi, did my undergrad. I did business administration. I did business at Nansec too. After Aseshi, I moved out. To the US. I got a master's in international development from Brandeis University here in the US, right here in Waltham, not far from me. And I worked for a year with a nonprofit called Pathway to Possible in New Inn, right here. And I moved up again because I wanted to do a PhD in PhD in development economics, but because of my educational background, I do not have enough economics. And I thought if I went straight into a PhD in economics, it would be a struggle for me. I decided to get another master's in economics, which is pretty tough, really tough, but fun. So currently, I'm doing a second master's at Tufts University, also on a full tuition scholarship. That's it for my education. So any other things that you want us to talk about into detail, I'm excited about it. Thank you.
Okay, nice to hear. I want to hear, like you said, you went to Nadom Sec.
Yeah.
And initially you thought that to be able to go to Nadom Sec, you need to make like grade 6, 10, or the limit could be 15. Were you able to meet that grade?
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know we were going that deep. I think I did.
You don't really have to say. I just want to know
No, no,
whether
no, it's fine.
like
I'm
how
good.
it goes.
I mean, this is helpful for whoever is watching. I'm
Yes.
fine. I think
Mm.
I wrote BC. I got a 9 from that school, which was a record from that school. I don't for all the years before me, I couldn't remember, or nobody had a single grade from the school. All the smart guys we knew always got aggregate 10 or 11 or something. But in my year, I was able to get an aggregate 9, and I got into Nandom Sec pretty easily. Yeah. So that's how I got
Wow.
like, yeah.
And you had an opportunity to go to Asahi University.
Yes.
Wow. You know that university is for the richest. And
Yeah.
yes,
Um, I
I
I
know that university, they pay in dollars. So if your father is not very rich, a
yeah.
politician in Ghana, you cannot
It means
enter
my
the
father is very
university.
rich.
Your
Yeah,
parents
it's true.
will.
I say she is pretty up there. And that time, I remember when I first got my admission letter, even that was way back in 2013. I think the first semester alone was 5,000 and something US dollars, everything, right? And I remember before Aseshi's idea came up, you know how back home we think that, oh, private university is not a good school. Then there's nobody wants to go to a private university. Private universities for people who quote and unquote failed in college, like, oh, sorry, in high school. But I did not fail in high school. I did pretty well in Nandom Sec. I wasn't the best though. The best is always there, but I did
Yeah.
well in high school, and I would say that actually I think I got admitted into like 7 schools, and it was funny how it all happened. But I got admitted into Tech for business administration. I got admitted into UCC for commerce. That was the program I really wanted to do, the UCC commerce. And those ones were not important to me. So the decision I had to make was Tech or commerce or Aseshi. Aseshi came up. I will say that honestly, I took the Aseshi decision because of the scholarship. And when I entered Aseshi the first year, it was a big struggle for me because the system was completely different. And I struggled a lot in my first semester. I remember reaching back to my big brother and saying, I think I will leave the school and I will go back to UCC. But it was after the first semester, even if I go back to UCC, they wouldn't take me back. So I just had to stay. It was a struggle after all through my first year. First of all, I will say I was the first student from Nandom Sec or from the region to go to Aseshi. And being in that shoe, I was the only person who spoke our language. I had no close friends. As you said, rich kids, you also go into that situation feeling like, oh, Charlie, I'm a poor guy among the rich kids. So that inferiority complex alone was a struggle for me to overcome. But one thing I did was after my first year, when I saw how things were going and I saw that the school was really a good school, I decided to go to the admissions office and talk to them. They gave me free forms. I went to about 4 or 5 schools in the region, actually more than that. I went to many schools. I remember I went to Xavier. I went back to my former school, Nansec. I went to Kansec. I went to what's the school in last year Tuolu Secondary School. I spoke to a lot of people in the schools. I always go and say, organize your students. I'm here. I have a message for them. So I spoke to them all about the school. I spoke to them about the MasterCard scholarship. And the following year, people applied. I remember 3 or 4 guys, 3 guys came from Nansec the following year. As we are speaking now, they're all big guys now. One is doing his PhD in Dartmouth, an Ivy League, right close by New Hampshire here in computer science. One is working with Microsoft in Seattle, and the other guy is running a project back home in Nandom, which is doing really well. So that is how it all started. Every year, people were now. I always told them that, you know what, if I bring you next year, you have to bring people. That's how people. Like a month ago when they vacated and they were going, I'm still in their WhatsApp group. I was looking at them, and it's now like we have more than 20 people from Y alone in Aseshi currently. Like currently, not those who have graduated. I was blown away, and I'm excited about it. And it's a very good opportunity for people to always go through. Yeah.
Wow, nice to hear. We will still go some more questions for you. But thank you, viewers, for joining. I've seen you all and the messages that you are sending. I will get back to you. Please send us. I see a lot of people are watching us. So many people are really watching the program. Send us hi for us to know that you are watching. And also share and like the page so that many African youth will get in touch and will be inspired to go somewhere, and then they focus on education and entrepreneurship instead of thinking of getting rich overnight. That doesn't exist in the world anymore. Let's go forward. Did you say you got scholarship to go to Nadom Secondary School?
Yeah, you want to hear about that one too. So
Yes.
I
So how
went to
did you get
Nandom
a
Sec.
scholarship to go to that
So I
school?
went to Nandom Sec without a scholarship, honestly, in the first year. My friend, my very good friend Joe, Papa J, he helped me to pay my fees. He and I were really, we had the long story. When I was still in primary school in Mango, I used to sell second-hand clothing, which we call fus, in the Wa market. And sometimes I would push truck in the market just to make money, to survive. And he used to sell kerosene in the night. So it got to a point that he convinced me to buy kerosene and always join him to sell the kerosene. He's very good at saving, to be honest, very good at saving. So I followed him and I bought the kerosene. So I used to do the market during after school. I go straight to the market. After the market, we do the kerosene in the night. And then after the kerosene, we studied. That was how our lives were. And at the point when I was a year ahead of him. So when I finished school first, I had saved. I remember all the fees to pay into NASEC was 131 Ghana cedi, 131 Ghana cedi, the 2008. So he gave me, I think, up to 100 Ghana from his savings those days. And because I was a year ahead of him, I also had my own savings, which I added and paid to get into NASEC. And so there's the senior. I was in a room with a couple of guys, and I was serving a senior called Hermas, who later became the assistant senior prefect, Paga. And I one day, so I went to fetch water for him. I didn't go. It was a Sunday after dining hall. I didn't go for dining hall. I went to fetch water, and when I was going, I saw that they had gathered the freshmen, the first year students, and they were telling them about a scholarship opportunity. So I went, and they said they should come to the senior professor's office. That's where the interview is. So I went, and by then I also went and joined the queue, and I went into the senior professor, like their office. Then they just started their own cubicle by then. So I went into the cubicle and they offered me a seat. No, they actually didn't offer me a seat. I knocked at the door. They said, "Come in." I was going for an interview. I went to fetch water, and all of a sudden, I heard of a scholarship interview. And then I turned towards that side. I knocked at the door, and they said, "Come in." When I walked in, I went straight and sat down. And the assistant senior prefect by then, I think it was called James Landago or Bandago James. We used to make fun of the name. I don't remember what exactly the spellings are, but I know the first name is James. So he said that you have already failed the interview because we did not offer you a seat and you sat down. I was like, okay, but I'll still give it a try. So they asked me why I'm in here. I told them my story. I told them where I came from, how I got to Nansec, how I used to sell kerosene. I just told them my story, and I left. Fortunately, they were looking for one student. All of those people who went for the interview, I was that one student they selected, and it was from a foundation called the Canadere Foundation, and they used to pay me 700 Ghana cedi, I think so, every year. So, and I will say the highest fees I paid to enter was 131 Ghana cedi. And the second highest I paid was in our final year registration, 98 Ghana cedi. So I finished the school, and the school had owed me a lot of money. So when I finished, I remember then the headmaster called me to his office and said, "The school owe you. What will you want to do with the money?" I said, "Give me the money." So they gave me the balance. I put it in a polythene bag, and I went to where I opened the bank account and put the money in there. So yeah, that was how it was. I didn't really have to struggle with funding in school, in high school. Fortunately, my sessions funding too was full. The Mastercard scholarship gives you food, accommodation, monthly allowance. It was so good. It was so good on offer
I
that
know
that
that
makes me
now.
become lazy, you know. And yeah,
Know that.
also my Brandeis education was full tuition scholarship, and currently my TAPS education is also full tuition scholarship. So yeah, been riding on it.
Wow.
Uh,
Wow. Oh, life is enjoyment though.
it's
Because I would want to hear something because but what you have told us so far, you see
yeah,
the suffering were just it was just at the beginning. But
yeah,
when you made it to Nandom Secondary School,
yeah.
you got the help from round you left and right, everywhere the help was coming from. Among all the students that they interviewed in and said you were the only one that were picked.
Yeah.
This is awesome and maybe luck or blessing, I may say. Um, through it all, you have been telling us about your educational life. I really
Yeah.
want to hear something about your family. Were you
Yeah.
living with your parents in Upper West when you were going to the basic school?
Um, well, that's a tricky one. So honestly, I lost my dad when I was like 4 years old, and my mom. I didn't grow up with my mom. Honestly, my mom had left my dad when I was 2 years old. So I grew up with an auntie. It's 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 a journey I like to share, you know what I mean? But it also gets me emotional sometimes. But I appreciate my past because I always say that if it's my past that brought me this far and the lessons from my past that helped me to be able to know and to see the struggles. I will say that life is on a silver platter for me, to be honest. Looking at what my big brothers had to go through to go to school. I remember two of my big brothers went to tech, and they really struggled when they were in tech. My big brother shared me a story where he's a Muslim, how he used to go to the mosque and he would ask his friends for one CD and they'll give him one CD. He would give 50 pesos those days to the other brother who was following him for them to be able to buy Gary and those kind of things to survive. And even when they were in tech, I still know they used to go do farming. After every they'll go and do pa. That's what we used to call it, to get money to go back to school. So yeah, I didn't have to go through that. So I appreciate that. One thing that I have learned is I don't know how I did it, but I learned pretty early at my earlier stages in education is my big brothers were a very good inspiration for me, to be honest. And anytime I spoke to them, I always realized that I saw how they were struggling to do it. And when I tasted a bit of scholarship, I knew that you have to work hard. You need to make the A's. That's it. That has always been my life. You have to. There's no separation about it. There's no negotiation. You need to make the A's. Otherwise, first of all, when you are seeking for a scholarship, people look at what are you bringing to the table? What do you have to offer? You know. So you first, as I always say it, I'm not always the best wherever I go, but I have a target for myself and I say that this is what I want to do. So I work towards it. So hard work for me is very important. Prayer is also my hobby, to be honest.
We'll talk about that later. We will talk about the prayer issue later. Someone asked a question on that. So
Okay.
we'll talk about that later. I want to tell viewers that poverty is not a limitation for you. There are so many African youth that thinks that poverty is a limitation for us. It is never.
Mm-mm.
The best thing is rather to work hard and come out from poverty.
That's
And
right.
it's not true, washing those things and trying to pass through somewhere to get very big money. Those things you can never enjoy them. I
Yeah.
see that these days, I know so many junior high schools, even my students, I see so many of them are on Facebook. And if
Yeah.
you are watching me or you have just completed primary or wherever, look, the best thing for you now is to learn very hard. The best thing for you, whether you don't have father, you don't get food to eat, you sleep
Yeah.
hunger, look, You have to learn her. That is the only option for you.
I don't want to cut you short, but a very simple thing that I did not share in my primary school days. When I was in primary school, for me, um, I think that from primary four until JSS three, I I made it that I will always be the best in class. That was when I came to myself, and nobody ever. Maybe one time, one subject, somebody will get a first in that class. But for all those years, I was always first from primary four until JSS three. I never became second in class. It got to a point that even my one of my brother who came out before me, he's a little crazy. I like him so much. He was in my class, and everybody in the class hated me that I never give them the opportunity. And I remember there was a day that we wrote an exam, and there was a girl he liked in the class, and I got a 90. And the girl also got a 90. When we went home, I couldn't sleep, man. He told me that now you always think you're somebody. Even girls are beating you now. Those things think that, oh, girls cannot do it, that kind of a thing. And for me, things like that, my brother who came out before me is telling me things like this. They inspire me. They don't put me down. They just inspire me. And one way I did it, even those days, the house we lived in did not have electricity. I used to study at the back of somebody's house where there was a bulb. We used to study. Sometimes we would sleep there. There was a point that I was sleeping in a mosque. I always appreciate, that's one thing about me. I'm not a Muslim, but I was sleeping in a mosque to be able to get light to study. There was a time that we were sleeping in a garage, somebody's garage, to be able to get light and study. And that's how I did it. I think from primary four, I don't remember sleeping in my own bed until JSS 3. Every day I slept somewhere else because I wanted to get light and study. People don't believe it. And even JSS students that I was studying with when I was in primary school, they always say, go home and study, go home and sleep. You to primary student, what are you doing here? These days we have everything, but people don't want to even study here, and I think it's worth sharing.
We don't have everything. It is still the same struggle at many places, as we said. I don't know,
Well,
but
compared to
let's
what
hope
I
that,
had at that time, I would say people have everything. People have light at least to study.
yeah, of course, maybe now they have lights.
Yeah.
I always say, once an African, you have to be a warrior. That is just always my thing. Generally, when you are born in Africa, the threat is just different, unless you are from a very rich home. The challenges that you come out, the challenges that you meet, you have to fight them yourself to be able to reach somewhere. And so if somebody somewhere is telling you that you can easily get rich when you sleep and wake up, then it's a big trouble for you. And you should know
Yeah.
that you are heading towards nothing in life. And life will become more difficult for you as you grow as a child or whatever you want to be. And so that is what I always say. Hearing Adam's story, you should know that he's a warrior. He has faced so many things, sleeping in the mosque, behind somebody's house, every night reading. Many of the youth don't want to do that these days. You find them standing at the town watching videos. They don't want to go and learn.
Yeah.
They are in the town that they are showing some TV, some movies, and they are there watching it.
let
And
me
if
let me let
it's
me,
like
let
that,
me with regards to that, I want to come back in. Being a kid or being young, you can't avoid those things. You also want to have like fun like that. I did it myself, but I did it wisely. I used to like dancing a lot when I was a kid, like in primary school, in junior high. So wherever there was dance, I'll go there. Wherever the sound is, I will look for it. But here's the thing, I will find a lot of my classmates there. If the dance is there, I know that that dance will be there for the whole night. So whilst my friends will show up there at 7 p.m., I'll show up there at 10 p.m. I will show up at 10 p.m., but I have studied before I showed up there. We will all have exam the following day. You will see me there. We will all dance till the next morning. But the exam will come and I'll clear it, and you will wonder how I did it. That's because a joke, actually. There was a time, and I never studied in class. I also had a strategy. that you would never see me study in class. My classmates used to hate me too because of that, because when I'm in school, I'll make a lot of jokes, I'll fight in class, and I will disturb a lot in class. So they always wondered how I was doing it. So one day after we closed from school, one of them came back to the school. He came back around 1. And by the time he came back, he found me alone in the class and I was studying. This dude looked at me and was blown away. He was riding a bicycle. He jumped down from the bicycle and was shocked. He got back into the bicycle and started riding, running home. There were two who were living together. So he went back and told the other guy, you know what? I went to school and I saw Adam study. So he went in and took his book and came out and was just sat down and was studying. Now they know how I've been doing it.
That's
So yeah, you
interesting to
can have
hear.
those, but you have to be disciplined. You need to watch TV. Yeah, it's fine. It's normal. These days, I don't have time for TV. It's fine. It's normal, but you have to be organized and you have to know when to use your time judiciously for me.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Adams. It's nice to hear your life story.
Yeah,
I am inspired to hear this, and I know the viewers too are
yeah,
inspired as well. So I want to ask some few more questions. Time is running out for us.
yeah.
What is your dream in life? What is your dream at this stage where you are? You are really enjoying USD. We know you are enjoying. There
Yeah,
is
that's
no
what you always
dream. Yes. USD, you are enjoying. Tell us,
say.
what is your dream in life?
For me, just as you say, it's me when I look at the environment and the people around me, I'm very concerned about the things that are happening around us. I'm looking for a world where everybody will have the opportunity to access their dreams. I'm looking for a world where everybody will have the opportunity to go to wherever they want to go. That's one reason why I do what I do and try to inspire a lot of people to live up to their dreams. So, if any position that I'll find myself in that helps me inspire other people, that makes me an example to other people to go to wherever they want to be able to access their dreams, is exactly what I want in life for me. Um, and I don't know where I'm going, to be honest. But one thing about me is at every point in my life, when you touch me and say, hey, what next for you? I always have plan A, B, C, sometimes with D, so that if A fails, I fall back on B. If B fails, I fall back on C. If C fails, I fall back on D. There's never a time in my life I walk without a plan. Honestly, to be very honest, most of the plans I have don't always work as I plan them. But one thing is, even if it does not work as I plan them, the next thing that comes is always better than what I had in my mind. But one thing is, if you have a plan, it helps you to stay focused and to fight for it no matter what. Sometimes it takes longer to get there, but I just think that what next for me is my next plans are I want to do a PhD after this program. That's it. And if something else comes up that is much more juicy, and the Lord says go for it, I will go for it.
Everything is good now for you. Only what you need to do is just to study. The money comes, scholarship, you just take your money and enjoy. You see life. You see life. Just
Huh.
Adams needs to study. He doesn't need to work to get more money, or the scholarship is there because he studied hard to get to where he is today.
Yeah.
And that is what we want every African youth to imitate.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be deceived by anything that you can sleep and wake up and see money flowing from somewhere and you grab it. No, you need to study. You
Yeah.
need to work somewhere to get that money. You cannot sleep and get the money like that. Those of us that had the opportunity to travel outside Africa, we have seen a lot.
Mm-hmm.
People are working to make the money. We sit in Africa, we think that, oh, those living in US, UK, Europe, they are very rich. They don't sleep and see the money flowing. Oh, they work to get the money that we think that they are rich. And so if we African youth want to be like them, then we need to work harder.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
and stop using our next generation, because these days you sleep and wake up, oh, a child is lost here, a child is lost here. Our youth, our next generation, people that will be useful to the country, they are vanishing, all because you want to sleep and wake up and get money flowing from somewhere. It is
right.
not like that. Wow. I didn't really know your story, but right now I'm so happy to hear what you have shared. Starting from nothing, from zero.
Yeah.
Hey, that kerosene selling in the market is not easy.
We used to do door to door with kerosene. Yeah, direct kerosene. It was fun.
Oh, for me, I used to sell this thing, the shea butter.
Okay.
They do it bulk like that. My
Yeah, I
mom
mean,
used to
that's
do
what my
some.
auntie was
Yes,
selling.
the shea butter. And I'll carry from door to door and sell for
That
people.
was
That
fun.
was
Yeah,
what I used to do.
good job.
Yeah, the shea butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we can always make it through education and entrepreneurship, and don't be
Yeah.
deceived by anyone, anywhere. Mr.
Mhm.
Adams, what do
Yeah.
you want to tell us? Anything about you that you want us to know? I saw something about you, like some agriculture business. I saw something like that on your Facebook page.
Yeah.
What else do you want us to know about you? Please tell us.
So that is about a project I run. It's called the Komali Initiative that I started sometime back when I was in associate, I think in third year. I pitched at a social venture challenge, and I won funding from an organization in New York. It's called the Resolution Project. Actually, today, before this, I was still just chatting on WhatsApp with with the founder of that actually fellowship. He was asking me if I wanted some funding or something else to be able to help that project. I was like, yeah, sure. Um,
Wow.
it's just so the plan was, where we come from. I wrote my thesis, my associate thesis, on contribution of dry season farming to the alleviation of poverty among small scale farmers. Now, basically, I was studying the irrigation typologies that could help dry season farming. I mean, growing up, my dad was a farmer, but I see that where we come from, a lot of people do farming, but dry seasons are a problem. Many people are unemployed around that time. So the idea is to be able to help local farmers access cost-effective irrigation systems to be able to do irrigation around, like, just support themselves during dry seasons. So that had been the idea that I pitched, and I got the funding. And the project is called Komali Initiative. I had been running it. I made some gardens. So we set up gardens. I mean, I've been trying to move the idea a little bit in recent years to something else. Still the same irrigation farming, and that's why I'm seeking for like extra funding, and I'm talking to other people to get more funding to be able to like move the project much more larger, scale it up to reach out to many people. So one of the things I want to do, I want to go back home after I get my full education. Truth is, I don't want to go back home unless I finish my school, unless I finish my education. But um, if I'm always here, I have a team on the ground that runs my projects. I'm looking for, with the right funding myself, and especially when I start my PhD, I will be much more flexible. I can be back and forth. So it's something that I run. I also recently started another organization that it's called the Yirumalaba Initiative, that is supposed to be doing nonprofit work, just like, as you say, all kinds of projects that we can do to help the local people. It's one of the things that I want to pick up recently, especially this year. And whatever projects inspire the youth, education, agriculture, a lot of things, and share our own stories to be able to help people. Those are the things I do. message to the viewers who are here is that life is not fair, as I always say. And life will never give you what you deserve, but what you fight for. And every one of us, wherever we are, we should keep fighting, keep our heads high, and never give up. Just get your dreams on, keep it going. Sometimes it doesn't go the way you think, but as long as you dream, as long as you hold on to it, as long as you fight, you will surely get there. I think that a lot of people are not positive about youth in Africa, but I think that our generation is a different generation. I don't know. There are still a lot of problems. There are still a lot of issues. But I see that our generation is a young, our generation is a different generation. Africa has a future. That's what I think. And I think that just as we mourn our leaders today, just as we mourn the system today, if we get the right education, you and I, you are in Finland, I'm in somewhere, I have other friends who are somewhere, I have other friends who are somewhere. I think a time is coming when we will all converge. You know, when I look back at the beginnings of the people who fought for independence for Africa as a whole, there were people who came from, they studied abroad, they got exposed to the system, they came back and they formed the union all across the continent, and they fought for themselves. Now, in a little, it's sad to say that most of those guys eventually failed the continent, right? But we are in a generation that I think we are about to take over again. We are about to converge again at a certain point, and we will take over. We've seen a lot now. We've seen where the world is going. We can't afford to still be slapping each other in parliament and and nothing is progressing. At a certain point, I think we will explode. That's what I think. I'm very confident about this continent, about the continent of Africa. I'm very, very confident about it. Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of guys in different places in the world, my generation, who are doing wonderful things. And I hope and I know that at the right time we'll all converge and we'll take over.
Wow. Some kind of inspiration for me. You are so certain that things will get better for Africa. I
Yeah.
feel better when you say that things will get better for Africa. That is our hope, that things should get better for Africa, because sometimes where we are, when you really think back at home, then you see that you just see that life is not fair.
Life is not fair. I agree with you.
Life is not
I mean,
fair.
I'm here in Boston. Boston is one of the places with like most of the best schools in the world. Harvard is here, MIT is here, Tufts is here, everything. You walk through, you meet a lot of people who share those kind of ideas. You know what I mean? And I mean, at this point, I don't know, almost every university I know somebody there. Every good university at all, I know somebody there, like, and that's the network we build. And as you walk through these places, you meet all these people. I also want to also actually inspire everybody and let them know that when we show up on these platforms and we share our stories, when I say that, oh, I'm doing a master's in Tufts, or somebody I know is in Harvard or is in MIT or this or that, we are not superhumans. Then you begin to think that, oh, these guys got there because they are superhumans. I used to think that, oh, Charlie, if somebody goes to Harvard or MIT or any of these big schools, they are just on another planet. Until I came to Boston, I live here, I walk through those schools, I meet a lot of people, and they are just not anything different from you. And it's just us. We can all do it as long as you have a goal in life that you want to achieve. Nobody is different from you. We can all do it, no matter where you are. If you are in a village, just impact the people around you, the few people that you can impact, the few people that you can influence. As you influence them, they influence other people. It's like the story I was telling you about Aseshi. I said that if you come with me to Aseshi, bring 2 or 3 more people. So many people now from the region have gone through Aseshi and they don't even know me. And I don't care that they don't know me, you understand? But that's it. I think that it's a good thing that one day all those generations, all the people that you can influence, you can impact in whichever small ways, we all get there. I don't think I'm not too I'm worried about the current Africa. I'm not very worried about the future Africa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adams. It's great to have you on the Life Reflection program. I'm
Yeah.
so much grateful that you agreed to share your life with us. Within the
Yeah.
shortest time that I told you, you just agreed to everything and it worked perfectly. The program has come off. I'm so happy and thank you very much for being part of the Life Reflection program. I hope you all take the step and agree to share our life story on this page. I have started the initiative, but I cannot do it alone. Please come in hand, share your life story. You can change a whole many people in Africa, a lot of youth in Africa. Your life story can change somebody's life, his educational life. It will help him to focus on entrepreneurship instead of thinking of other ways of getting money and those kind of things. Any other thing you want to tell us, please?
I just want to say thank you to our viewers. Saw a lot of wonderful people. Some of my classmates from London Sec, my friends from Facebook. I see a lot of them. I want to say thank you to everybody who joined us. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the questions and everything. Everybody who showed up, and I mean, they can always, I will still hang around Facebook. I always delete my app these days because I got too busy. It distracts me. But from time to time, I will come back. I will respond to comments on this video, whichever way you share it. I will try my best to come on. People can inbox me with questions. I'm always willing to talk to people and to inspire others who join us. Thank you to for considering me worthy to be on your platform and to share my story. It's an honor to be a part of it. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. I'm so glad. In fact, you have got a lot of questions to answer. People are asking about your prayer life. I think you have to tackle that later on because we
Really?
don't really have time to talk about
Okay.
all the questions. But I've seen you, those that have sent messages that you have joined. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. If you have not done so, just send us hi for us to know that you joined this program because I've seen a lot of people watching the program. Please send us hi for us to know. Like and share, follow the page and let it reach all the African youth. I have come with the initiative, but I cannot do it alone. Please, let's help in hands to support the African youth to grow. Thank
That's
you very much, lovely viewers, wherever you have joined us from. I'm so happy. A lot of people really watch. I think this is the highest so far, Mr. Adams. You really got so many people to watch the program. Thank
yeah.
you very much.
This is a
And
popular
as
dude.
you said, yes, Adam said he's available. In fact, he's Mr. Adams. His real name is Debate. So, but his real name is Adams. I prefer to call him Adam because it's short for me.
I'm a joker. I like joking. Maybe that's why people join to see my jokes.
Yes, yes.
So much for
So,
me again. Oh, I
yes,
see.
thank
I
you
see
very
a lot
much.
of
Thank you, viewers. We'll get back with our next live reflection. Until we meet in our next live reflection program, good night, good afternoon, and good day, wherever you join us from. Bye bye.
bye, all of you. It's an honor to
Yes.
be.
Yes. Bye.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you.
Yes, now we are back here.
I think we are still live, or I'm not seeing well.
No, I've ended the live. So now I think we are back to stream live. Oh no, let me see.
I see that we are.
No, we were still live.